Good news. I'm really looking forward to what they will accomplish. So not only, responding to FUDs and helping combat that. Sure, I'm sure they'll do amazing work in the future. Like I've said in my group, when I first got into the EOS community, I first started working for EOS Bees. I helped set up the French hive. And when I decided to take more time to work here at EOS Support, I decided to push for Nicolas to replace me at EOS Bees, the French hive. And it's, like I said in my group, it's recorded, I'm uploading the recording now. It's great news to see that he has been doing such a great job in the EOS Bees hive. And seeing them today do the swarms and benefiting to the EOS community even more than we did in the previous days is heartwarming. It's really definitely great news. So very pleased to see him here today in the EOS Respect elections. And looking forward to the other elections. We had a share in our group that had a project of his own that is going to present at the next elections. So I'm very much looking forward to that as well. We are seeing more people that come in that are ready yet to present their projects, but know that they'll be able to in a month when we do the next elections. So very much looking forward to that as well. On that note, I'm going to go back to eating. Sorry, everyone.
All righty.
But great consensus.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were not recording. I totally missed that, but I think basically Jesse was saying that, you know, he's going to use his funds to support the bees. We have Nicolas saying that he's going to use his funds to support the swarms. Gracie is going to use her funds to help bridge your support and the Chinese community. Oh, Gracie is here. Yeah, so Gracie can actually talk about it by herself. Yeah, go ahead, Gracie.
My connection is kind of not very stable. If I stuck, please help me finish it. I'm going to use my fund to which EOS support and the Chinese community, and it's beginning from the Eden Chinese team and Eden Chinese groups, because I thought that all the agents spend hours and hours working and creating very important things on your support, and we already have a lot valuable contents and services, but it's for some communities, maybe just like Chinese communities, we are not really kind of think, am I still here or I'm stuck? Okay, I'm not so sure because my connection is so bad now, I don't know why. And because we already have so many valuable things, but the communities not really know how to find it, or not familiar of using this kind of services or searching of this kind of support and this kind of contact. So we are trying to reach them, and then we will try to just like push more on, just show the community what your support can really help. And your questions, it's like a lot of your questions have answers on your support, you just don't know. And then when they ask questions, sometimes we just search a link and then give them the link and then their problem solved. But they don't know they can find these answers on your support. So that's why we think we which your support with the community is very important. So we will more focus on this part, and the first step is we will add your support live chat on the Eden Chinese website, and then maybe we will just talk to some other projects, like the projects supported by Eden Chinese, and then tell them to add your support on their website too, and then to let the community knows there is a way to make their problem solved, get their answers, and your as support is supporting them. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for your kind answer, Gracie. Hey, I'm Sangyo. Hello. I was about to ask to you about like which project do you want to support. So are you going to use those funds to your Eden China Pomelo funds, right?
Yes. I'm not so sure I'm still here or not because on my screen is everybody's not moving.
Okay.
You're still here. You're still here.
Yeah, and I also want to ask about this. I'm personally really curious about Eden China. I know that you are leading the project. As a person, as a person who is reading the Eden Korea initiative in Korea. I was curious that how you're gonna actually bridge the EOS support and the Eden China website. Are you gonna make a UI, small UI to directly connect with the EOS support agents so we can serve the customer service to the Eden China community?
I think the live chat, the one just the users can get in touch with the standby agent. We just need to add how to say that? Just like a function part of code on our website, and then it will work. I think it's that way. I'm not 100% sure, but we do something just like familiar like that before. So I think it's maybe the same way.
Okay, I think I get the answer. Thank you for your answer. Yeah.
So Sangyo, it's good that you brought that up because we have the Korean manager himself here, Max, the main Korean manager himself. So what can we possibly do to also bridge the Korean community, right? Because right now, what we are doing is we are building EOS support to be multilingual. So eventually what's going to happen is this platform that we have been building for over a year, which has cost a lot of money and time, effort, eventually is going to be in 9 different languages. So you don't have to spend another $100,000 or $200,000 to build a platform like this. And it's on-chain action, right? So it will be available to the language leaders. On top of that, Gracie also is going to have the Eden community supporting supporting the EOS support community by having the widget so that they can communicate, they can help users, right? So the Korean community, not only are you guys going to have a Korean support platform, right? I know that you guys are building Eden Korean websites and stuff like that. I mean, what are you guys going to do to bridge the Korean community with support?
I have similar idea with Gracie. The first thing that, the most important thing is to make like as many as people aware about the EOS support so that they can use the actual website. You know, we have lots of information on the Learning Center and we serve really good live chat service. And we give really good customer service. We like help a lot of people to like, you know, many problems, how to use the EOS wallet, what is good, what is the EOS, what is the Eden OS, that kind of thing. We can give that answer. And the problem is in Korea, not many people are aware about EOS support, and they don't know what is going on actually. So we need to promote very well, actually. But I think we should deploy the Eden OS first, and then we're gonna start to build up like bridge with the EOS support, like in a way to, like what Gracie said, like show the UI. We can just click the button and bring those customers to the EOS support website from the Eden Korea website, that kind of simple things. And Max is doing very well. He's the owner of one of the biggest EOS community in Korea. And so he's promoting very well every information. We didn't actually mention about it, but he's doing every single content to the Korean community. I mean, he's promoting. Yeah, I think the story is too long, but the thing is we're building. And after we deploy the Eden OS, we are gonna start to bridge the EOS support and Eden Korea. Did you get an answer, Randall? Was it too long?
No, that's a very good answer. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to see that. I'm very happy to see that we are doing the best that we can to bring governance to EOS in our own way, right? So that's why I'm very excited about this. So hopefully we can bridge all the major communities, and through that we can discuss with blood producers on how they have to best support us, and we will continue to build and go from there.
Exactly. It's really needed. Maturity.
All right, so we're just waiting for sortition. It might take a little bit of time, but this is on-chain action. So do we even have to be here for 2 hours? We don't necessarily have to be here. We can cut it, and once the smart contract calls the randomness who won, it will just be there, and everyone is going to know who is the sortition leader. That's the beauty about things being on the smart contract, right? No one can cheat, right?
Right.
Now, the part that's very difficult is this video recording part. The great news is all of us are part of EOS Support and EOS Support squads. We are all members, so we know each other. So this one makes it a little bit easier that sometimes when someone drops off, we can still at least believe that it's still the same person that we normally talk to, right? The only thing that I think makes the video so important is we want to record what the person was saying, so that in the future, if the person doesn't do what they said they were going to do, we can show them and be like, dude, this is what you said you were going to do and you didn't do it, right? That's the only thing. So I'm thinking that if Zoom is not working and the person can even use their camera to just record by themselves, we do it. Or they can use a different program. It doesn't have to be Zoom, right? As we can see, we don't need to automate the Zoom for us to have elections. So you can use any program to record, as long as you can record so that we can prove that you said that you were going to do this, X, Y, Z. That's all that we need. And we can upload it on video So in the future, if there is a discrepancy, we can just show a candidate that, hey, listen, you say you were going to do this and you didn't do it. You took the funds and you did something else. So now moving forward, we're not going to vote for you. Because one thing we will do is we will have software in place for people to upload the progress of their projects that they voted for on Pomelo, or if they voted for themselves, their own project, they can upload it on there, and there will be a way for us to review, like someone can comment on it, okay, type a comment, and then the person can reply. Each person is going to have their own account. So that's something that we are working on. The design and everything has been done. And now Rich has taken upon himself to complete the CSS and the backend code. So that's a great thing for us to have, so that we can incorporate it with the whole consensus protocol and make this at least somewhat complete. The only thing we are going to be missing, though, is dispute resolution. But that one will cost a lot of money and time. So we will focus on the basic things so that we can make this a complete system. If someone wants to register, how they will do it. Everything is going to be self-explanatory on the platform, make it very easy. So the only thing that will be difficult is going to be the video part, but we can all record it ourselves with a third-party video system or Zoom, or maybe your iPhone. You can just take your iPhone or what, a mobile phone, and just record it, and we can just upload it. All right. Marco.
Yes.
Jitsi is also a great tool for doing cards, and it's open source. So if we have servers that are not too expensive, we can run it on them, and that would be kind of independent.
If you're done, all right. So since my room may not have a recording, I had posted points of what I would do. Any allocated funds, and I just reposted that. And in hearing the other delegates talk, as well as Randall, I added something to the end of it. And essentially, I see 3 levels of allocating rewards to members. One is working with EOS Respect, since the majority of the allocated funds would go back there into that Pomelo project, help build up a lot of the community stuff that's already ongoing. The other 50% will be to projects working toward advancing EOS Respect's mission, including briefings, vision, Bees, Eden in China, and Vietnamese news. I look at it as a 3-tiered membership allocation. One with EOS Respect, another one would be helping out build out the briefings project, and as far as what Gracie had said, helping people find information. And again, these aren't elaborate, these are just summaries, key points of important topics, projects, and timelines. And then the third tier would be encouraging swarms. I believe that's the three levels of 3 hierarchy of cost allocations. The top one would be working with EOS Respect and the large scale, building out briefings would kind of be in the middle, and then quick swarms for the day or topics that arise, I figure would be underneath whatever pay would be for someone to put together a briefing. So just in case we don't have videos, we should have it here.
So who was in the same room as Marco?
Josh Morrow, Tran or Tut, and I believe
Yeah,
there's
so
someone else.
as long as they can verify that they actually voted for you, that's fine. But I think moving forward, we have to try and get more people to record, so that we can stay away from disputes, right? Just in case. But you know, we are starting off, so I think that's fine. But if I was building dispute resolution, I will put that in there that if there's a situation like this, we will have the people that were in the room to come on video and vote to say that they actually indeed elected Marco. So that would be like a quick thing. Yeah, that would be something that would just resolve that issue so that people don't become upset, you know. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we will do. I think maybe we will put it in the Eden, not Eden, sorry, EOS Respect election. We will put it in there that all the people that voted for Marco should, you know, confirm that indeed they voted for you, and that should be fine.
I have a comment about the video issue.
Mhm.
I think something maybe to consider at this smaller stage is to have one Zoom room, so the community Zoom room,
Mhm.
and then people go to breakout rooms. So it's in one Zoom link. And of course, there's also, this hasn't been brought up, but there's the 40-minute limit that gets exceeded in the Eden elections. So if you're in a group and you don't have the premium Zoom, then you won't be able to go in the room for as long as the room is planned. So if there's just one premium Zoom account, then we can go into breakout rooms. Just something to consider.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's something that we can do. But so that, you know, we're able to scale as time goes on, we have to still come back to this and try to play around with this a little bit more to get people to become accustomed to it. But in the initial stage, yeah, I agree. We can work with that.
I have another question that is more EOS support specific. I have a friend who has a YouTube channel, and we wanted to make video tutorials about the articles we wrote in German. Could I pitch that through EOS Respect, or should we just do it internally?
I think the first thing you might want to do is go on Pomelo. That's number one, because it's probably good. So once it's on Pomelo, then you pitch it through EOS Respect, so you can amplify how much you get to support that initiative.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Will EOS Respect elections still go on when Pomelo is not, like donations are not live? Yes,
it will still go on. So basically, what would happen is a project like, let's say, briefings is always going on. So we will vote, you will get the money, and you can decide if you want to give it to them directly, or you can decide that, hey, you know, I'm going to hold on to this for you during Pomelo seasons. I'm going to use it to amplify or to increase how much funding you can get on Pomelo. So as long as you can talk to the owner, and or if you are the owner, you can document to the community and the people that voted you in that this is what you are going to do, and we all are like expecting that, then you should be fine. Yeah, this is monthly. Every month we're gonna do this, and we're gonna build good habits, and eventually it's going to be so easy for us to have an election, because everybody will know how this works. They will know the back end. They will know that if they cannot vote, they will just do a voting manually by themselves. And the one thing I like about this is we are all technically like support agents, right? Because the EOS ambassadors, they know how EOS support is. So if you want something, you want to learn something, you can just Google that article, not Google, but search it on our EOS support learning center. You can search it and you can learn how it works. So when you come to an election, you are like an agent. You shouldn't be asking too many questions because you are supposed to be the one teaching others about the protocol, right? So you should be able to record very quickly, vote very quickly, and for us to build this and make this something that the whole community can start to utilize, because I think more organizations have to start using this. That's how we are going to have governance on the blockchain, or else one person is going to dictate how we are. I mean, they're going to dictate what we are supposed to do. And anytime when you have one person dictating, it never leads to a good thing for everyone. So we have to continue to push this and encourage other organizations to reach out to EOS Support for us to help them deploy it if they want us to deploy this system for them. And I think it will really help. Yeah. Oscar, how's it going, Oscar? We have not heard from you in a while. If you are still there, maybe you can say a word. Yeah.
Yeah, where background is better.
We've seen you doing a lot of work, man. You've been doing a lot of work in the community.
Yeah, it's surprising that the internet is not working for many people in here, but it's working so well for me. That surprised me. It has a lot to do with sectors and different locations. That's normal. So yeah, I was talking to the guys, and I've seen most of them around all the time. So no stranger with most of them in here. Dario was with us in the Fractal Fiction event, which is about to be released, by the way. And I've invited them to join the EOS Translation Foundation Telegram group, and they're gonna reach out to you sooner or later. I plan to run for it to this election, but also was not entirely sure on how the affiliation program was. Now that it's clear, we selected Chris instead because he also had a very good initiative, which would have made a great, which will be a great project. He sadly can vote for himself in the elections, but I'm sure he's still gonna carry on with his initiative, and he's gonna do a great job. Sooner or later, the EOS Translation Foundation is gonna reach out to EOS Support. I think they've tried before. Mark, also known as Earthman, is around all the time in the community, and he is the one with the strong connection with Ryan, which is the founder of the Translate Me network, and everything's going well. We hope to have machine learning translation available for the community to grab on very quickly, and being able to pay it in EOS. Having professional translators, I believe, is very important for us, because it's not only we know there is translation initiatives in the community. We have the EOS Bees, we have EOS Support, and we have people independently doing translation. That is great. This is a wide market, so we have opportunities for everyone. But yeah, we're gonna work on offering a different service, a service that is halfway automated, and that is guaranteed to have professional translators working on stuff. So this was a good opportunity to bring it up. And like I said, we're gonna reach out at some point. I'm sure Mark, which is the one behind everything, is gonna come to you and talk about that. But yeah, it was thrilling. It was amazing as always to meet all these people in the community, and there was a lot more people than I thought from so short notice. Although I also thought maybe I was the one who got a short notice, but yeah, I was chilling at the beginning, vibing with the music, and then enjoying all the company.
Yeah, so when it comes to the translation foundation, they actually reached out to me and they wanted to do machine translation. The thing is, with EOS Support, we have professionals like Gracie, we have Sangyeon, we have Evgeny. So pretty much we are able to translate, we do human translation. And for our platform, which we are building, everything is going to be translated by humans. So on the back end, let's say if Evgeny is trying to put content on EOS Support platform, he's going to have a user account that will allow him to actually translate it in Russia. So it will populate on the front end in Russia. We've integrated things so that even the social media accounts, once you switch it to that language, it will switch everything to that social media platform. So the goal is to make the platform localized. So individuals don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to rebuild EOS Support. EOS Support, we want to make it in a way that those who are part of the ambassadorship program and also agents, they can use it as if it's their own platform, their own website, and populate information and share it with their local community, so that it's more decentralized and it's being built in a way that now people can provide support for their locale. So if you are in Venezuela, you speak Spanish, you can put your platform or your content on there, and then you can actually provide support in Spanish for your locale. And then you can promote some of the amazing things that we're gonna have on there, which is voting, polling, and there are many more things that's gonna be on there. You can provide those for your locality, and then you can come to elections, go on Pomelo, raise more funds, we support you, and then we try to build an economy around EOS. I always say this, for me, because I actually, it's not like I studied business. I didn't go to school for economics, but because I own business and I don't work for somebody, I always know how to find a way to make the money multiply. Okay, and it's not a theory. I feel like if EOS wants to become really big, we have to create an economy and we have to create a value. Dan Larimer has a saying that if you have a battery and you don't have a source to charge that battery, it does not matter. Over time, the power of that battery is gonna die, all right? And that quote is very important, and it's so important to society in that the people who can provide value are the most important people in the community. So someone can be very rich and they can have a lot of money, right? But if they cannot invest the money in something to make more money, over time, their money, it goes away. They become broke, right? That's why investors are always looking for the value creators to invest in them so they can multiply their funds. So they have to find ways to cheat the people who actually provide the value, okay? So with blockchain, we wanna eliminate that. We want to eliminate that that system where people try to use others to get to the top. Our goal is to make sure that those who are providing the content themselves, those who are actually developing on EOS, are the ones who actually get the money and the value. It's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy because right now we have some bureaucracy involved, right? So it's going to take time. But if we are able to work hard, put our thoughts, our minds together and provide value over time, we should be able to create an economy where the people who are providing value will get the tokens and use the tokens and build an economy around it. And that brings me to one thing that I almost forgot. The gift shop on EOS Support. I'm hoping once the platform is up, we can utilize it and people can now buy things and use EOS and, make it fun, right? So that's something that I'm hoping this brings, that, we all get to work together, collaborate, have a platform where people can showcase their contents to their local communities, and translate if they want to, and we go from there. So long story short, we don't need machine learning at this stage, but I'm hoping in the future we'll get to work with the translation foundation and get that situated. Maybe work on some other projects where we can use the translation machines, and also eventually, maybe, you never know, also utilize some of your professional services. But for now, our platform, we have humans, who are able to translate, make sure that they are getting their community to utilize it, and also educating them to fight for decentralization, to fight for a better world for themselves, because the world we live in right now is just not good enough, especially what's going on in Venezuela. Look at what they are doing with the internet, right? Because the people at the top, they don't always make good decisions, right? So that's why we have to find a way to get consensus so that people can speak up, let people know what they are thinking. And there has to be some sort of a recording, a video, so that you can tell the person, dude, you didn't do what you said you were going to do, right? So that's where I'm hoping with consensus building and this system that we are putting forth, we can do that in our own communities and our local communities, and eventually it might catch fire. You never know, but we have to start from somewhere. And I'm very thankful for the faculty team and Dan Larimer for starting such a beautiful project and us being part of it.
So update in terms of getting a redo video. We still need one person. We had 3 people say they're ready, but we need either Morrow or Thug to join us to get the 4 out of 5. Anyone knows, they can reach out to them. But we'll try to get that done. And really excited about this stuff. I love how it's coming together. And September is going to be a heck of a month between everything coming in. EOS Support may play a bigger role than people think as we get communities coming over from Ethereum, looking at that EOS CVM and stuff. I mentioned that. Nobody seems to say that, to get that, but to get a bunch of people who are already into crypto coming in, seeing EOS liquidity functionality, and they're ready to go and they believe in it. And they're here, they already see something they want to do. So streamlining that for them will make it. On top of what Jesse was saying about some of the negative press we were getting, mitigating that and not letting that infect the community.
Eric, so elections are monthly. The minute when we are done, it's going to post the next election. So it's going to be on the platform. So once we are off, it will come up. The second thing is everything is on the code. So for those who want to, for now, we have not made it public, but we will make it public so you can look at the bylaws in the contract itself. But our GitHub has it, so I think Derek has the link. You can also share it, because one thing I don't ever want to happen is one person having like a Google Doc and they keep the bylaws in there and they say that, oh, okay, yeah, the bylaw says this, but then the code is saying something else, right? So we want to make everything on code, transparent. So if it's not on code, you can argue that, hey, listen, I don't know what happened here. So our goal is to try to make everything to be transparent as possible and to scale as well, right? For something to scale means you don't need to come into Randall's GitHub, or you don't need to come into Randall's, I would say, Google Docs to know what the bylaws are. Or I don't have to invite you and give you access to know what the next election is or what the bylaws are, right? It has to be something that once you join on our Notion is open to the public. Everybody has access to that. That's number one. And number two, it has to be on chain. So the people in Africa somewhere, they can be able to look up and see what the bylaws are. The people in, I don't know, Iceland, they can look up what the bylaws are for EOS Respect, because they can go on chain as long as they have an internet, right? So that's where we are trying to go. We want to make sure this is very decentralized as much as possible. And we try to build it in a way that we are putting accountability, responsibility, consensus building first. We don't want people who change their minds and people who say one thing, but then once they get elected, they say something else, right? And then they use the funds for something else. I think that is the system we have now. We have that system now where politician will get a vote, and once they come to power, they screw all the people who give them the power and they abuse them, right? We don't want that system. The system is supposed to be, if you are in an organization, you are in a place, you can trust these people that when they say something, they really, really mean it. And they do, at least they try to do what they said they are going to do. It's one of the most important things. And the world is lacking that right now, as we speak, right? You can't take anybody's word for what it is. Somebody tells you one thing, they make you do a lot of work, and they try to cheat you, or they try to, steal your work, or, take you for granted, So in my situation, I always say, why the hell am I doing this, right? The reason why I'm doing this is because I think the world can be a better place. Because as a physician first, that's my main thing first. Human life is very important to me, and human behavior, how we do things, all right? Doing all the other things that I do is secondary, but as a person who is about life first, I always say that we have to fight for life. We have to fight for a better world for people, okay? And I think if we do that, we will be better people overall, because trust me, I've seen so many people at the end of their lifetime, like when they're about to pass out or when they're about to die, right? And a lot of times it's not about the amount of money they made. A lot of times people are very happy when they know that they made a difference in someone else's life, and when they made a different kind of like decision that actually made someone a better person, or they made this world a better place. Almost 10 out of 10 of all the people that I see them go through the last stages of life, I always see them happy. 10 out of 10, if they know that they did something right for humanity. The ones who cry and it's not because they are scared to die. They cry about things and they're not happy and they're very restless. It's because they did something very bad to somebody, or they treat people very wrong in this world. And I see that a lot of times those who have battle is because of that. So I'm hoping that we can all have some good in us to just do some good for the community and for society. It does not mean that somebody take advantage of someone, right? You still have to pay people for their work. right? You have to pay people because people have to eat, they have to survive. You still have to treat people with respect, right? And that's the most important thing. So I feel like we are doing this, but at the same time, we cannot do free work, right? We have to get rewarded for our jobs that we do, and people have to respect that work. And if they're not going to respect that work, at some point we have to go somewhere else and do that work. That's how I feel. So until then, you know, I always say EOS is an open network. If things are aligned, we will be here. If people want to cheat the system and play games, at some point, I'll be the first one to tell people, you know what, let's get the hell out of here, because this shit is not what we thought it is. All right, so that's my take on that.
Thanks for sharing your perspective, Randall. I know you've got a unique view on humanity, and I'm always interested to hear your thoughts on these things.
Yeah, that's very nice. I agree with you, Randall. So it's time for the sortition. You're mute, Randall.
Oh, sorry about that. We have 57 minutes to go, but there's one thing I want to say. So I think this part of sortition, because sortition is on-chain, and because it's something that we don't have to wait around for, I think at some point what we will do is, after we are done with the rounds and the chief delegates are elected, we can just call the actions and just let the system run its course. And once we know who sortition picked, we can put that person on Slack, and everybody will know that this is the person that sortition picked. Now, I never mentioned what a person who is a sortition winner, what are their roles, right? So one thing Dan said, and I really appreciate him for bringing that up, is you don't want to put a role on the person, because it creates this kind of like, it creates like this entitlement, right? So sometimes you want to be very careful with that. But what sortition basically is going to be doing is that that person will be the one that they can come up to EOS support administration. Because remember, EOS support, you can't change people, because Gracie, for example, is the language leader. You can't change her because she's good at what she does. That's why she has been picked to be a language leader. Dario, for example, he's very good at what he does, right? We have Bishop, who's a communication leader, very good at what he does. So you can't run an election and just change those people. It doesn't work like that. So the ambassador leader, who is a sortition leader, basically can reach out to EOS support and be like, guys, I think if we can find a way to do something like A, B, C, D to help with the code, to help with some sort of ideas, they can bring it forth, because they are basically the person that can actually reason with us, right? So that we can come up with a bylaw, because they are the ones who can actually, after they talk to the ambassadors, they can introduce the bylaw. They introduce the bylaw on code, and then after that, the chief delegates have to approve it, that this is the new bylaws, right? It's not going to be EOS support. EOS support, we're just here as like the founders of the ambassadorship program. But all the ambassadors who are going to be supporting EOS support, they have their own opinions. And what we are just doing is we have affiliation. So if the affiliation is for them to build a project that will help EOS and EOS support, that's okay. And then they can run elections to, you know, utilize some of the funds. Now, someone will be like, what? Someone will ask, why will a person give money to EOS Respect all the time, right? Why will EOS support put their money into EOS Respect? It's because by having the partners are actually also helping us, because they are putting our names out there in the community, right? They are also building projects that eventually can be beneficial for the community, and they can donate to us if we help them grow, right? They can also vote for us on Pomelo, right? So for now, we are just doing whatever we can to help projects and to help the community. And we want these communities to also be affiliated with us so that we can help them grow. And once they grow and they become great projects, who knows, they can donate millions of dollars to us, all right? In the future, nobody knows, right? But our goal is simply just to help them, just to help the community, because we have a public good initiative, which is to provide the life support, basic how-to articles and scam prevention. So we want to do it for every project, and then for the project to grow and for us to have a voice, we have to have some sort of partnership, because without that partnership, then at that point we cannot support them with the funds we have made. So we work hard, we will make money along the way, we will get some money on Pomelo, and we will use some of those funds to run EOS Respect. I will discuss with some of the block producers to try to put something in here so that we can use it to continue this initiative. Over time, maybe it will serve the community well.
How about defining the difference between the target for Pomelo and the target for EOS Support as far as supporting the community?
So EOS Support, I want our goal to be simply being concierge. I don't want us to be involved in politics, all right? And when I say politics, it's very difficult to not be involved in politics, but we try to be neutral as much as possible, right? Why do we want to be neutral? Because we are providing human life support services to the whole community. So it doesn't matter if you are the ENF or if you are briefings. We try to help you, right? We try to create basic how-to guides for ENF, for Pomelo, and for briefings. It's going to be the same across the board. Now, if you want us to do something extra, and it does not fall under those public good services that we provide for free, then at that point, you have to negotiate with us to let us know how you're going to support us so that we can do that job for you. So that would be the support plus, all right? Other than that, I don't want your support to be trying to get ourselves involved in, okay, we are just with Eden members or we are just with the Korean community. No, we are with everyone because we want to be neutral. But EOS Respect is a little bit different in that EOS Respect is a bunch of community members who may have businesses, right? And they have affiliation with EOS Support. So EOS Support makes some money, some form of money. And whatever that we have, we put it into this treasury as reserves. And this is being used by these project owners to reach consensus on the best projects that are out there that needs some sort of respect, because they've been around the block and they've been working their butt off and they don't have enough funds. So the little that we can do is to amplify their voices through votes on Pomelo, or maybe direct donations, whichever way that you want to go. So if we are going to do that, then we need to have these humans who are going to be providing these funds for these projects and organizations to hold them accountable, right? You don't want to give your money to someone for free. You have to tell them that, dude, if you know you are a scam, don't be a scam, because we want you to succeed. And how you can succeed is, first of all, maybe you need live support, right? So you can reach out to EOS Support, get live support. The second thing is maybe you have to have a roadmap that me as a donor to you, I can follow it. So when you miss a a milestone, I can ask you, why are you missing the milestone? What happened? So that we know this. So that you, the ambassador, you can also now reach out to the community to tell them that, you know what, these guys are good guys. They are trying their best, and continue to support them. And in the process, they will earn respect in the community, and the community will get to know them, and more people will probably vote for them on Pomelo because we help them grow, right? Because a lot of projects are very good projects, but nobody knows who they are, and nobody will trust them, right? So EOS support members, we are all like OGs in the EOS sphere, right? So if we are able to curate projects, and we can even put it on Pomelo, I promise you, there's going to be a time that we are going to be one of the few people that people will pick the projects that we picked to support on Pomelo. That feature is coming pretty soon, right? Where a person can pick 5-6 projects that they support. And that project, they will say that these guys have done X, Y, Z. And
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, they've accomplished them. Mhm.
The Helios team is an incubator. EOS Starter is sort of an incubator. The
EOS
E&M has its own.
EOS Starter still exists? I thought they stopped for a little bit.
They may have.
Mhm.
But between all of that and E&F grants, editor's pick or a community pick is not something Pomelo should do, because they have the project site. If you have an idea, it starts in Pomelo, but then you're right. What happens season 2? And that was actually some of the discussion. Some of the people who were donating to Pomelo say, we want Pomelo to show the progress made since season 2. Well, even if you have that, you still want the editor's pick, the people who are involved, see it grow, who provide the support and all that. And yeah, like I see where it fits in, and that's big.
Yeah, and that's the main goal of EOS Respect, is to look for projects like yourself, briefings, you have been around the block, and to give you respect. That's one of the things. And when I discussed it with a couple of people, they were like, you know what? It would be great to have the community decide. It would be great to have the community decide which projects are the projects that are gaining respect. Someone might be like, why is it that EOS Respect have to be the ones that do that? Well, it's not one voice. It's not only me, right? It's going to be everybody. There's going to be so many people, but to be able to hold people accountable, we have to have some sort of a say. And that's why you have to be affiliated with EOS Support, because EOS Support is the one that's providing the treasury, right? So being affiliated with it means that we want what is good in the project. So we will provide agents if you need something. If it makes sense for us to help you with translation, we will help you as much as we can, right? So those are little things that by having that partnership, it helps you build your project. And then in the future, we can actually amplify your voice through our Twitter and through our partners, right? Because you know, if Gracie and her team are available, they can help you with certain things, right? The Korean team is here. You know, when Max is available and Sungyeon is available, they can help you through the Korean community. And we can continue to build that, right? And I know that once the support platform is finished, it will help so much, because if Evgeny wants to do something with his community, he doesn't have to raise $400,000, $500,000 to start, right? He can just be like, okay, don't worry, I have a platform here. We have 5 people who want to put stuff on there, and then we'll reason together, reach consensus, put that stuff on there so that they can promote it for their community. Also, I wanted to eliminate the fact that if Randall is making a decision for EOS Support, it shouldn't affect all the ambassadors and all the partners, right? They should have their own thinking and their own voice, all right? Because it's their project. So for Randall, for example, I just affect what I'm good at, which is the community of EOS Support, which I started. But over time, I want EOS Support to be a fractal, right? In that Gracie starts it, and if she's able to build and bridge the community, she'll become another point, then she spreads it down, and then she's the person who's under Gracie will spread it. So it starts being all over the place, right? But we have to start small and allow the cells. It's like when you are talking about the human cells, they have to differentiate properly, right? Because when you start as an organism, as a big organism, and you are coming down into a cellular level, it's very difficult. Then that's when you have problems. But when you start off as a small cell and you are trying to differentiate, it's easier because you will have the same copy of the cellular organism, okay, or organelles. You can have the same copy of everything, and they just differentiate and iterate to form certain things, but overall, they will be 99% similar. So. I think you are muted, Marco.
Yeah, the thing that got me, I had this little vision of we have all these developers, and I said the reason why I chose EOS back in the day after I couldn't get anything with Bitcoin and Ethereum was too hard was it was a developer community, and blockchain is constant innovation, so it's important to have that at the front. Well, even though it's a developer community and you know, you have all these techies and maybe young people and stuff like that, or young minds, sometimes we could forget the core aspects of what makes businesses successful. So as you were talking just now, a couple minutes ago, I had this vision of the missing piece is like the Google movie, where you have EOS Respect as a way that you have your project, you gain a little bit of momentum, and now you would want a network. And Telegram's okay, but you want this network of people who are looking to help support projects, people who have experience with it, and face-to-face, and in organized structure. So I thought of that, and versus the bees, where the bees bring attention and they are tackling social media, it is, you know, more of a new way of doing things and not so much the core values of building relationships. But I can see EOS Respect building better relationships than maybe anything else out there on EOS. And as I said before, as we get communities coming over from Ethereum, it's important to not just try to combat bad press in social media, but also at the heart of the matter, at the person who can understand it, who can see it, who can network, who can converse, for them to find an endpoint to that bad press. And I can see EOS Respect leading there. I don't think anything else is there. Anyway, I've talked a little bit about this, how our culture was different when you had Eves and Aaron Cox in daily chat and talking about key issues, and now they're involved heavily in their own projects, and we don't have that same sort of power on the developer end in intermingling with everyday users, new users, and seeing how the community is growing and whatnot. And this seems like a final solution for that. If it makes sense.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm hoping will happen, in that over time when we are building, because of the way that we are building this from the ground level up, and the concept of ambassadorship program. Let's say if I'm working with, let's say EOS Nation, and they want to bring their CEO to be part of this so that he can have a voice within this to support some projects, that person becomes part of this, right? And then you can now have the ENF actually be part of this, but not make it political, because now they can actually be part of it just to reach consensus. But with Eden, it was a little bit tricky because they were the ones that were providing the money for Eden to go. But with this system, it's not them. It's an independent entity in EOS Support providing the treasury so they can actually have a voice in here to support some projects that they feel like they want to support through this consensus building. At the same time, they can also start their own from their end and use it in ways that, okay, if they are going to pick a project and they have, as you can see now, you can have 30 people and still be able to use the system, right? You don't need 10,000 or 1,000, right? And they can have videos so that we can see how they picked, what they picked, or why they chose that budget that they chose. It's not rocket science, but some people just don't have the vision. But when you have maybe too much talking, but the person doesn't have the vision, you lose the whole system, right? So another thing that EOS Respect is doing is we are showing communities that this is how this thing can be used. This is how this thing can be used. So people can go, oh, I can actually use this to do this, right? And I never thought about it. So people will start to reach out and for us to help them implement it just to reach consensus. That's all that it is.
Dan talks about wasted energy. Gracie hinted at that with her community not being able to find some stuff. So this goes on that as well. Help organize things, help things get things efficient at a core level. And I'm excited to see how the platform develops. I think that's a big thing. I think once these videos and people are comfortable with just the funding and that this is part of the whole process now of the EOS mainnet community and the larger ecosystem, I think we'll get these little additions to these platforms that help in big ways. And I think that's what we're missing. I think we're missing something. Like we have Telegram, but nobody wants to build on it. We're using Zoom. People don't so much want to build on it, but we're using it now. And you just change the whole site. You change the Monday to EOS Respect, so little things like that. Anyway.
Yeah. The idea is there. We're just gonna build on top of it. We're gonna add more features, and it's coming. We are working on that, and it's gonna actually be very, very interesting what comes out next. All right, and I think that's where the excitement is gonna take place. There's a lot more things that's coming, and there's a lot more powerful things that Rich knows about, Dario knows about them. I think Sang-Yeon has a little insight that I think is going to really propel the community and help us, get to the right place, I think. And regarding the bees, I think a lot of people are misunderstanding, they've misunderstood what the bees are. It's like a very powerful thing. And it's a new sort of like wave that people don't know about, right? So I'm hoping that people will start to acknowledge the power of a community that can amplify a voice. That is so like crazy that when I talk to people who say that they are so smart and their intelligence level are so high and stuff like that, I have a meeting with them and sometimes I just get off the meeting, I'm like, that person doesn't understand what they just said. As one man, you can never change the world. You need the people. But to have a group of people with similar ideologies to reach consensus, to amplify a voice, that is unheard of.
Well, the Republicans and Democrats do these sort of targeted waves of things, but they aren't independent in their contributors, so there's a limitation to that. But now when you take a bunch of small businesses and you say, hey, there's a loose rock on this corner of our highway, and if that comes loose, no trucks are getting through, and all our little small businesses are not getting any supplies and stuff like that. Suddenly now, but if you don't have a way to coordinate them, that's an issue. And that's the difference between I see between the social media, aggressive marketing campaigns of, parties versus independent things like the Bees. If they could do it, I believe it totally can be done. I just joined the Bees, so I don't have a full experience of it, but I strongly believe that given today's tech and blockchain, that independent power and value of each business and new product and innovation coming out can be leveraged in a way that, yes, a bright voice with a brilliant idea can instantly have a presence that puts to rest any IP controversy, any negative press or marketing against that because it may disrupt and influence and stuff like that. So, yeah. And by the way, I understand
It's so
concierge.
powerful, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so amazing. It's like I think about it all the time, and I go, man, if individual entities can coordinate like this, right? That is, it's amazing. Like it's gonna change a lot. Now, I have one thing that I think is an example of this is that remember when Block One had $4 billion. People forget that. And when Block One was at the top, remember that even Eve and all these people, Zach, they were vulnerable. Aaron tried to reach Block One so many times, vulnerable, they couldn't get anywhere. It was the community, togetherness, that empowered and propelled them over the top, that we are here at this moment. So every time when there is a disagreement or anything like that, I always go, no, don't forget the community, because if you forget the community, the same thing can happen again. The community, they don't die. And the day that you try to kill the community by isolating people so that we cannot coordinate, then you also killed yourself. Okay, there's a saying that if you are in a city, a village, and you want to just cheat everybody, well, you're forgetting that when there is no village because you cheated everybody out, then now you are done. You don't have a damn community to live in as well. So you must as well also move, right? So EOS is not made of one person. It's made of a community of people around the world with all sort of brilliance and all sort of skills. Together, we become EOS. The minute when we're not together, it doesn't matter when one person has 100 billion tokens. They can take the tokens by themselves. Nobody cares. It will become useless, right? Luna, I'm pretty sure Luna, somebody has 1 trillion Luna in their purse. But the minute when the people started to dump it because it lost its value, that was it. Luna did not matter.
Yeah, and there's the idea of the leverage of a currency where if you have a currency like just circulating between two nations or two industries versus something that's widespread, the leverage of that one currency, whether it be circulated many times or just the attraction, can do something big. And we are definitely in like a nexus of EOS. The value doesn't, the price just doesn't match up with what we offer, and it's going to become undeniable in the very, very near future as 2049 approaches. And with without EOS Respect, without this little network here, I believe everything would be slowed down as far as the inflow of new things, helping them up and stuff like that.
Yeah. And by the way, Marco, there's something I want to bring up. This is a little bit off topic, but it's interesting. The reason why the Eden system, the first one, is having much problems is because of the fact that the vision is widespread, right? So some people want to just do governance, but then they are forgetting that what is governance, right? Governance is when you are governing money. When you are governing actually value, that's what governance is. You have something that is so important, and then you are providing some sort of like accountability, responsibility, trust to that thing, right? So that thing can be what we have started here, but it becomes so valuable that eventually people give us credit for us to be able to expand on it. But when you say to yourself, okay, governance is, I want to go and kick out Black producers, it becomes very difficult for you to accomplish that goal. Because then it's like you are not going to govern the Black producers. because there are people with their own minds and their own businesses. Right?
Here's Tadas. I don't know if you're familiar with his paper recently, but what he did is he brought order by just bringing all the powers to contribute into one idea rather than the fighting or the conflict. And essentially, he took the block producers, he took the token holders, and he took the fractally stuff that Dan Larimer proposed, and he put them together and added the electoral process of fractally and Eden to take the stakeholders and cycle it through the block producers for a project development. And you're not taking, if you look at a couple people have mentioned, it's like, just because you mentioned these things in the same sentence, people were ready to argue. And quickly, as you look at it, there's no conflict behind what anybody's doing now. There's just the addition to this. And the ultimate product, the ultimate deliverable is that you're funding projects that are better for the community. But not like Pomelo, where Pomelo is, you present the idea, it's through token holders and through block producers. Whatever the block producers are interested in, the token holders are interested in, because you add in this little electoral process. And it's not getting any traction and nobody's commenting on it. But anytime anybody starts to say something bad about it, they stop because they can't find anything wrong about it. And just that alone tells me that it should get more attention.
So, Marco, you know, sometimes trying to push an idea through a literature or through a sentence is one of the most hardest things to do. Okay, and it's coming from a person who leads, and I lead a lot of people, right? You tell them something, sometimes they don't get it. They have to see the action. What Tata is doing is exactly what we are doing right here. So, you know, once the block producers decide that they want to fund this even with 1,000 EOS every month, okay, they're actually supporting us to pick projects that can build tools, which they were supposed to do to begin with for them. That's it. And then now they can just focus on just producing blocks. So we are getting the respect from them. But right now, the missing piece is this. The token holders are picking the block producers because they are the ones who are deciding, who are supposed to be building tools and projects and decide. But instead of the block producers using the money to do that, they decided that, you know what, we're going to give the money back to the token holders so that they can now continue to pick us because we are giving them more rewards.
They don't see any hope in developing the system.
Yes, so that's what's happening. But now that we are trying to put this forth, right, I think it might change a little bit, where they can say, you know what, we can, instead of giving all these percentage to the token holders, we can send some of this money to, let's say, the companies that have fought Eden OS to build consensus and it's transparent, right?
There's already been a shakeup. There's already been a shakeup at block producer level. And there's going to be another, either an action or an actual organization with the EOS CVM and Mandel, just because it has to. It's too big. The change that the block producers were supposed to do with B1 funding it is now happening with the ENF. I know they're connected to the block producers, but they aren't the block producers the way they were under B1. So you're going to have the change that we wanted without the block producers directly behind it. So there's something's going to come of that on the block producer end. Anyway.
No, but there's a thing, right? There's a big thing there because we had 1% inflation being given. So my take is now if we are making it 3%, then it cannot. All of that cannot go to one entity and such, right? There has to be a way for it to also trigger, I should not use the word trigger, trickle to people like yourself, the Korean community, the Chinese communities. There has to be a way, and that way has to be done through and within the community. Okay, and
That
that's
way has to be one of value, which
Yeah.
EOS Respect can help achieve. I'm a believer in NFTs because I see NFTs as a way to target value across smart contracts and even across chains. Not everyone's a believer in them, but I believe they're needed for that intangible value that isn't there just yet. Now, EOS Respect is real people assigning value, real networks and stuff like that. But I've always wondered how NFTs are going to come into play into advancing marketing as we know it, like the large retailers using it, where instead of having corporation buying a part of a Walmart, instead you have these NFTs that can connect directly with consumers, and not just the corporation, but the product team putting that out. So you can identify a product within a company that's a real positive in the users, which is already trying to happen on Twitter, but they just don't have the technology to separate the corporation from the product. There's just too much effort behind it. So if you can take a value like EOS Respect, where you have the networking, you have the professionals, and you have the valuation that's true, and you can take that and maybe not through the cumbersome of a smart contract, but a network of NFTs with smart contracts that make the whole development aspect a little bit more nimble. And I'm just brainstorming off the top of my head, but there's just kind of some things I pick up when I see blockchain development together, like what's happening at EOS, what's happening other chains. And I definitely believe that EOS has the best framework for leading in the future. So I throw that out there. And what's up, block header?
So we have 23 minutes to go. So we are still waiting. I really wanted to, at least this is the first election, so I wanted to just wait until we pick sortition to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And if there's a problem somewhere else, then we will fix it. So yeah, but in the process of waiting too, we've had a great discussion, and I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can build a lot more tools and we can bring more value to the system. I think one of the hardest things that we've worked on right now, the hardest thing is not even deploying Eden OS and coming up with RespectOS. The hardest thing is building freaking EOS Support, okay, the platform. To be honest with you, this has been one of the hardest, I would say, design for us to work on, but it's because we want to make sure that it actually does what it's going to do. And for you to do that, you have to break through a lot of barriers, things that we didn't think is possible. In that, this is a blockchain, and we are trying to bring some sort of identity, find a way to prevent civil attacks, and bring voting, dispute resolution. So, and also at the same time, make it very nice, because a lot of the people in this space, they are not good with designing a platform, right? So the platform doesn't even look good. And sometimes when it looks good, it doesn't even work good. And sometimes the design doesn't even make sense, right? So to make sure that it actually does what it says it's going to do, look good, and provide like a value for the community, we had to do things, go back, redo it, reconfigure it. And that was, a challenge.
I'm looking forward to it, and I know from everything I hear, it's going to be a leap in what we expect.
Yeah. But I hope it's worth it. It's worth the wait. At least I'm gonna ask I think Rich likes it. So he likes it, and the other guys who have seen it, they like it. Dario know the concepts, but Dario has not even seen the platform itself. That's interesting, right? He has not seen it because I've hidden it away from him. I want him to see it when the time is right, you know. So I'm hoping it helps the community the best possible way. And then hopefully it's going to help the briefings, because I was trying to deploy like a version that was not fully completed, so that you could have used your briefings with us to publish. But Port was giving us a little bit of a problem. You know, like with software development, you get to some point and then you have a problem. You have to go fix, right? So Luca and them, they've helped us tremendously. And now that part is okay, but we still have to figure out a couple of things, which I've not had time to figure out myself. So we have to figure that part out. And after all is said and done, I think there's a couple of things that the team together has to make sure it's working properly, man, before we put it out there.
To give you an idea of briefings, the vision. Back in the 80s, I used to read side by side in Manhattan rush hour traffic, the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. And not every story, but a lot of the stories would be the same on the front page of these little clips of a sentence or two, sometimes less. And you know, you see 4 or 5 stories that are the same, but different perspectives from each newspaper that has its own little political thing. And I saw Twitter, and when Twitter first came out, when I had hoped it would evolve into something more. I saw LinkedIn, and I just said, well, what if you had like a LinkedIn and a Twitter to their potential? And they never did. They grew apart. They just never really worked well. And it was almost like it was just better back in the 1980s before the internet, where I'm just reading the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I'm getting this information for the day in the matter of a minute or two. And that's better than the internet sometimes, as far as a high level of what's going on today. So that's how I see briefings, not a full article, not everything you want to know, but you know, is there a thunderstorm approaching here? Is this who's in the news? What do I want to plan out for my day to set aside half hour to investigate in Google searches and things like that? And that's briefings. So if you're, you know, that's it. Anyway, if you're, I believe, you know, any major community site should have something along those lines, networking, and it shouldn't be overdone as far as a news section. There should be some sort of summary that doesn't rely on a program, something that people can attend to and say, that's accurate, that's clear, move on, you can trust that with your day's time, if it makes any sense. But through that came the idea of timeline segments, which I thought was a nice idea, and I would like to take it. So you not only get the project briefing or the project summary and the sub-project summaries, but you also get a timeline segment of where that fits into the story. So yeah, I'm excited for EOS Support and to contribute along those lines. Of course, there's a long articles, but I got to tell you, if I didn't have the briefings and if I didn't have those notes, if I didn't have the weekly newsletter, it'd be so much harder to put out quality articles. And that's what I want to just do for everybody. They can write it in their own heads.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a big supporter. First of all, I'm a big supporter of everything you do, Marco. And the reason why it's like that is because I go back to our first Eden election. I told you I was going to support you. There was another guy, I'm forgetting his name. He was with SOV, but I've not seen him around a lot. Actually, there were 2 other guys. I've not seen them around, but everyone that I've been in an election with, I try to, you know, continue to support them. Unless maybe that person starts to drive me crazy and I'm like, nah, this is not a person that I thought they are. But I try to support the community, and that's why I support you, because what you are doing is very important. And the second thing is you have always been persistent, that this is what you wanted to do, right? So the little that we can do to support you, to make that a possibility, that is what we have to do. And more importantly, it's going to help EOS, because it's building an economy around the currency, right? If we don't do that, then there's no point of us being here. I keep iterating on this. If Bitcoin, all the people that had Bitcoin were changing Bitcoin into USD, Bitcoin would never be Bitcoin. But they decided to build some sort of like a value around holding that Bitcoin.
I say time and again, EOS Marketplace. They're putting the EOS brand on goods. They're taking metal and they're forging it and putting on bicycles with a little EOS brand. And that's happening in a country that doesn't have a very powerful economy, to say the least. We can do that in other places. And it shows that it's practical on the blockchain.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what I'm going to do? I don't want to say too much, but there's a gift shop that's going to be on EOS Support platform. And that gift shop is going to be a powerful tool. That gift shop is going to be a powerful tool, because I keep telling people, we have to be able to spend EOS, and somebody has to accept the EOS. And who are those people? It's going to start with the community first, but we cannot burn the community all the time and not take care of them, right? So, yeah.
Well, if you look at the some old TV shows, and by old, I mean 10 years ago, where there's first mention of Bitcoin, it's always a developer, it's always a computer programmer, because they're using digital money. And every once in a while, I get this look from somebody like, you're not changing in a dollar bill, or you're not getting cash back, or using a digital card, or would you like that on your card, or would you like the refund in bills? And I always say, it's easier for me to carry on the card. And but I grew up, with the cash register, so I know what that's like. I know how to peel off dollar bills and place them down. So if you think back on Bitcoin being taken by developers, and now you say, look, the currency I prefer to deal with are currencies that are easy to exchange. Bitcoin is too slow. I want something faster, because I move around a lot of NFTs or crypto in my gaming and stuff like that. I just move a lot of crypto around every day. And if you're going to give me Bitcoin, you might as well give me dollars, but it takes me exact the same time to turn it into EOS. So just give me the EOS. So now you don't have just developers. Now you have people who are using money online, digital money online, and that could be something like gamers or social media, Twitter tipping. I tip it. I got to look into it because everybody's raving about that. But yeah, sure, you can tip in Lightning Network. I hear they're starting to make progress, but like Ethereum, can they keep up? So, we want the active people, and those are the people providing liquidity, which is what the ENF was big on. I don't know how it all ties in, but I know there's something there.
Hey, Jesse is still there, or Jesse disappeared?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. You are eating breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jesse, one thing that I love about you is the fact that we've been chief delegates, and we've had a lot of meetings, and your input on things, your feedback, understanding on things have always been very important. So I don't know your take on what we are trying to do here, and how you feel about that, and how maybe that can shape the ecosystem overall. I'm not sure what you think.
I think what we're doing here is great. Using a democratically selection process to donate to projects, and keeping those projects accountable. I think this is solving the biggest flaw in both of EOS's decentralized funding mechanisms, both Eden and Pomelo, holding projects accountable. And not just, so I know like Pomelo has their last season update and you can read it, but there's really no, how do I say it, like support really. There's really no like human support for these projects to hold them accountable. And I mean, that's, you know, Chris Barnes ran on that in the first Eden election. I think it was really strong. I mean, it wasn't executed, but I think it's really hard to execute. And I think only a team, like a big team like EOS Support, is capable of executing this really major problem in the way we distribute funds. And so I'm totally in support of it. And I think it's a great way to allocate the resources of EOS Support.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And I hope we're able to continue to you know, build on it. Yeah. How many Nicolas, where is your brother? He was supposed to be an EOS Support member. We never heard from him.
Oh, because he's on a trip in South America. In South America, like he's doing like a road trip, but like vacation for 9 months, like in countries like Brazil, Peru, Chile, stuff like that. And he will be back in September, so soon.
Oh my
You-
God, like 9 months of travel, that's a lot of fun. Why is he having fun when he's supposed to be on EOS helping?
Yeah, so this is why I came in. Like he told me, like, bro, I have to go. Someone needs to take my spot. And so, but apparently people saw that I wasn't him, so it's not the same person. But you will see him back, and so that you will be able to see us both.
Oh, that's great. You guys have twins?
Sorry?
Are you guys twins? You guys look alike.
No, we are not. He's like 1 year and a half older than me.
Oh, okay. Well, you are doing a great job. So we
Yeah,
love
thank you.
having here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Jesse's, like Jesse's a great leader, and we help him as much as we can.
Yeah, I mean, he's very persistent. Perseverance is the word for Jesse. Perseverance. He doesn't give up. He keeps working so hard.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that someday there will be a value placed on his hard work. You know, and that's what we are fighting for. For the community to know that if you have a skill, if you are hardworking, if you are passionate, even just being passionate, people think it's a joke. Being passionate about something, you have to pay that person for them being passionate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
so I think, and actually I love passionate people, because when I'm building a business, the first thing I do is I evaluate to see if the person is very passionate about what they do. I don't hire a person if they come in, their energy is very low. They don't like to, talk to people. They don't like to associate themselves with people. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hire this guy. I don't care how smart he is.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that when you're passionate, like people that aren't passionate will give up once it's gonna get difficult, and it's very often getting difficult because there's stuff happening that we didn't anticipate. So, and yeah, what happened with EOS Bees, it happened a lot of things, like and well, yeah, we keep going on, and we gain experience from everything that happened. So now we are in the good spot because we found what we are good at and we are developing it. So this is great.
I love it. I love it. And I will say it again, the bees, you guys are onto something very big. And I hope with the technology and a way to coordinate and pay yourselves, and also be able to find ways to what's the word I'm looking for? A way to let the community see your work, right? How to quantify how much you guys have done.
Yeah, of course we keep everything we can. We keep it public, so that the community can see everything that's going on. With Jesse, we come to those to all the meetings about Eden, EOS Support, all the stuff. We try to come as much as we can, so we can explain to people that don't know what it is, and show what progress we make. Because yeah, this is what we are doing concern everyone that's involved in EOS, because this is a beneficial external effect that when we are swarming EOS project, is because it's like making like EOS look great, because we give EOS visibility. So
I agree. It's an excellent initiative. Yep. So we are how many minutes into it? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're almost there, and then we will have a sortition winner. That'll be great. Yeah. So any ideas on what we can possibly do to make this so simple? You know, I mean, with the video part, I think you know, it's supposed to be easy. You don't have to use only Zoom. You can use any recording device that you have to pretty much just record the meeting. As long as you can record the meeting, we can see it. That's fine. So that one, I'm not worried about it. For sortition, I'm thinking, you know, the 2 hours in between, we can sit around and have this kind of like discussion to catch up on everything. To get to know what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong, what projects we can really look into to help, and what software systems we can build to support ourselves and other community members. So that's where we can do that, or people can just, you know, drop off and they will find out who sortition winner is when they go back into the software, right? So that one, I think we can do that. What else? Okay, yeah, accountability. You know, we are building the platform that will allow us to, when somebody click learn more, it will bring them to the main website. There will be explanation on what we are doing, and then they will click it, put their EOS account name and their email, and just a little information about themselves and their intent. And once they do that, that's it. It will send it an action to EOS Support. Then someone will reach out to them, vet them, and make sure that they are who they say they are, and that they have a project that they want to work with EOS Support on. And then after that, we will induct them. Induction is what? Less than 2 minutes, right? We get induction, we bring them on board. And then after that, that's it. We just wait for elections every month. And once we go into elections, because we are going to be keeping the projects and translating them on the platform that we are building, it will be easy. You don't have to spend too much time. You just go there and know that, okay, Sanguion is working on the Korean community. The Korean community is about to do this for this month. So we will know that that's the milestone that they've set, and they want support to donate to that project. Boom. So we know all the people in the room. So you can actually go into the person's profile while you are in the room with them and just look them up on the platform quickly. And then you will come back.
Countdown.
Say it again.
Wait, countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, 1. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Max. Thank you. Right.
Welcome.
So, and then we can, okay, so it's coming up. Let's see, who is it? finalizing election. Okay. It's finalizing. Let's give it some time. Yeah, but yeah, so pretty much I think okay, finalizing election. Let's find out that maybe there's a bug, huh? And it could be for all the changes we've made.
How long has it taken in the past Eden elections?
Okay, I think it's Marco.
No.
It is.
Oh, no.
Are you a developer? This is the first time a developer did not win.
I am not. And the last time I did any developing was some website stuff and read a Bitcoin note. It's been a while. I've been avoiding EOS stuff for a while. So, all right.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Marco.
Congratulations, Marco.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So pretty much we are looking forward to having you do the best that you can to represent your support the best way possible, and also the community members, all the ambassadors as well, right? They are all part of this community. So I think if you need anything, we are going to be here. Our goal is to work with the ambassadors, right? Your support to work with the ambassadors to make the community a very nice community, one big community that can provide some sort of value. So all in all, we are very happy to have you, Marco, as a head chief delegate. And I think your funds is going to be the same as all the other chief delegates. Okay, we've done that. We tested it on the test net, it worked. So I'm hoping it's going to work on production as well. So it should be the same. The only difference is you have the ability to introduce a bylaw on chain.
Does anyone have any, and maybe use me as a test on this, start out from scratch, someone who was elected because of popularity, where would a head chief that wants to get the most fundamental core knowledge on how to do the best job start out? I have some ideas, but I figure I'll ask you here. I know there's been changes to it. I know Eden is not the same as this. So, to prepare, where should I start to prepare? And if anyone has any initiatives, please let me know ASAP. Well, I don't mind jumping into exploration. I've been meaning to do it for a while. I've just been putting it off with getting other things underway. I was actually trying to put it off until after Mandel, because I figure once Mandel hits, maybe everything's new. But yeah, I'm excited. I like this. I believe in it. And let me know how I can help any of you out.
All righty. Thank you so much, Marco. We really appreciate you. You are one of the greatest members in our community. And I'm very happy that at least, your hard work and dedication has been shown here through sortition, that, you were one of the best guys out here. We look forward to working with you and building the community together. And by the way, thanks to Gracie. Thank you, Nicolas, Jesse. We're very thankful for you guys being part of this, and you guys should donate to the best projects like you've stated, and we will be here to support as much as we can as well. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you to you for the opportunity, and yeah, that's been very cool. Like, we're gonna do our best.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Randall. Have a great day, everyone. Glad to be
Yeah.
here. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.